Hello everyone. So I got a new toy. This is what they call a Snackbox Micro with some fun artwork on it that you know, graphic design is my passion, so I of course did. I'll give a bit of a background as to why I decided to buy a hitbox or a Snackbox Micro. Over the last 9 months, I haven't been able to play as much, I haven't been able to attend offlines as much, I've just been too busy. And when I do play, I haven't been able to focus. I've been noticing I'm just getting much worse at the game. And I don't expect that a hitbox will, I don't think that's going to change that at all. But I figured one of the things that I enjoy most about the game is execution and practicing execution and learning how to do things. And compared to an arcade stick, this is a new obstacle to tackle, which I figured would be fun. The other reason is now when I travel anywhere with my daughter, it's a lot harder to, there's a lot more stuff you have to take. So I went back to New Zealand for a holiday to see family at the start of this year. And I did decide to bring my arcade stick so I could verse some people over there. But it was so cumbersome to take around and took up so much of my suitcase. And I just realized that if I'm ever traveling and think, hey, I might want to play some fighting games while I'm traveling, I either need to really prepare to take a big bulky stick, play on controller, or find something else small that I can use. So for a bit of a comparison, here's the stick I normally play on. Here's the Micro. So you can see how this will literally fit inside that. It is tiny compared to it. So I got one because it means if I can play it, I can quite easily have it on my person if I'm traveling and not be taking up half my suitcase, with the other half being nappies or whatever. I've had it for about a week. I've been doing a bit of practice with it, so the stuff I'm going to go through with the video isn't entirely new to me, but it's pretty new to me. I'm not going to have amazing execution, I'm not going to be performing things flawlessly. As per the normal questions with hitboxes, no, it's not. I'm not cheating, I'm not going to instantly be insanely good when I use this. It's going to take a lot of practice, but that's something that'll keep me interested in the game, and I guess tide over the time until Tekken 8 comes out. So let's jump into talking about some things about hitbox and looking at the actual game. So first thing first, positioning. So I can have it on my lap, kind of anywhere down, but the physio on me wants to stress that you kind of want to have it in a position where your elbows can remain at about 90 degrees, so that you're not overly bending as people often do when they use fight sticks or hitboxes too, and you're not overextending, getting a bit too uncomfortable. Maybe a little bit extended probably isn't too bad, but roughly 90 degrees is good. You also don't rest your hands down like you see a lot of people do when they're typing on their keyboard all day and it gets a bit painful. You want to have your wrists sort of hovering, so you're pushing down on the keys and you're resting on the keys. Okay, so you're just sort of dancing on the keys. So you can see I've got my actual display with my fingers, and then I've got the display to the bottom right where you can see the buttons pressed. The weird thing about the hitbox, or the weird thing about the button configuration, is we've got the back button here, down here, forward. Kind of lines up with on a keyboard, the ASD or the left, down, right directional buttons on a keyboard. But the up button is down here. So in this little while of trying to use it, I can't tell you the amount of times that I try and jump and I either hit there and stuff it up, or I try and do a down forward and I try and do an up forward and I go like that, or I try and do a down forward and I go like that, and I miss the up button all the time because I don't have it in my muscle memory yet that up is here. However, it's very nice having up there because there are some advantages, with the main one being that you can use either thumb to do it. I'll get into that in a little while. Then we've got the typical buttons just like we do on Fire Stick. So I've got the buttons mapped, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 plus 2, 3 plus 4, 1 plus 4, 2 plus 3, which is what I typically have. I don't see any reason to have things mapped differently on a hitbox, but it's up to you, it's up to what you want to do. Yeah, so the main thing here is that up button down there. That takes a bit of getting used to. One thing that I've learned a bit about, and you need to know about this too, because it's a big thing, a big part as to why people find an advantage of using a hitbox or a Snackbox Micro, is SOCD, which is simultaneous opposing cardinal directions. This is kind of the idea. If I were to hold back and forward at the same time, the game might have a bit of a panic attack. It might be, oh, you're pressing back and forward at the same time. These two buttons can't work. It won't work. How do we do this? And so these devices have what they call an SOCD cleaner, where it'll prioritize something. It'll prioritize what happens if both these buttons are pressed at the same time. In this case, if I press them both at the same time, you'll see it registers as neutral. So Nina stops moving and the display on the right shows no buttons being pressed, even though I'm holding two buttons down. Usually SOCD cleaners on hitbox, if you press down, sorry, see, I told you I get mixed up there. If you press down and up, you'll jump, it prioritizes up. However, with the Capcom Pro Tour changes, I've just decided to set mine so if you do down and up, it becomes neutral. That's totally fine. Fine by me at least. From what I understand, it means I can't do the crouch from sidestep too effectively, which was a big advantage that people had in Tekken, but that's fine. I'll live without it. Although there's no rule saying I couldn't go back to doing it, but I'm keeping it for Street Fighter anyway. So what does this mean for using the hitbox? And this is where it gets interesting. So if I hold back and I press forward, it goes neutral. It means if I hold back and tap forward twice, it'll do a back dash. Likewise with forward. If I go forward, then press back and let go, it'll do a dash. So that gives me a very clean movement, back or forward. And this really comes into play with the Korean backdash. So when we do a Korean backdash on a stick, it's back, 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 down, or back, back, down, back, back, back. Which isn't too hard. So I can kind of do it, but it's a little bit awkward. But what I can do with the SOCD cleaning is I can do forward, back, and then down. Well, what gives me a down back if I'm holding back the whole time. Then I press forward and it does neutral again. So if I go like that, you see I'm getting the back, down, back, back. Because I'm doing, yeah. I need to press down and then let go and press back. And that registers as a back input. Make sense? And just like with any Korean backdash cancelling, if you do it too quickly, you're not going to get very far. So it's a rhythm thing. And your job is to do the down input for as little as possible. So I hear like the it's rhythm, okay? Use whatever you can. Use whatever in your head to get you used to it. But yeah, so that works well, and that's a big advantage. This also means that you could do like dash inputs quickly. Ha. I'm still getting used to that. But it's not necessary because you could just do a double forward. Yeah. Just quickly, if I swap sides. There we go. Wow, look at how well I navigated that without doing up and down wrong. So if I'm going this way, a little bit more awkward just because I'm having to use my ring finger a little bit more. And that one is typically weaker. So hopefully over time, I'll get better at that. But yeah, it's not too different to doing it on stick, but a little bit more accurate. And I mean, the other advantage here is you're holding back the whole time. So there's like, if you're doing it right, there's a frame of crouching and a frame of neutral, and that's it. Because you're just pressing like that. So you're less vulnerable, you're less likely to stuff up your backdash cancel. Which I do all the time, and I keep getting hit by mids while I'm doing it, and I'm like, it's because I was sloppy with my backdash cancel. So hey, this may fix it. Something a bit more Nina specific though, so getting quarter circle forwards takes a little bit of practice. Once again, it's kind of rhythm, because if you do it too quickly, no. I got the hang of it now, so I can't demonstrate it too well. But if you do it like that, or you can see it's not going to work. So you've got to get that rhythm to make sure that you get the down back to register too. But this comes in really nice. This is where the up button being here is handy. So if we do backsway cancels or Hayashida Step, we normally do quarter circle back up. That's pretty awkward to do with one hand on this, but you can use your other thumb here. And that becomes the easiest thing ever. As long as you got the rhythm. As long as you got the rhythm for the quarter circle back. See, I'm stuffing it up on this side. You can use the other hand here too, but it's a little bit awkward. I mean, maybe if you're very familiar with the hitbox, you could. What are the Nina specific things? So, she's got Poison Mist as well, which you need to get the half circle forward. Oh, that's a little bit awkward. But you can always do the down back, double down back. Or, yeah, quarter circle forward, down back, down back. Yeah, I find that awkward. I find that very awkward. You could do it off something though. The key thing here is, yeah, just making sure that you're getting those diagonals. Didn't even get the full diagonal there, it's still registered. But it's about not doing the motion too quickly. Sorry, maybe I should say unless you see the diagonals, it looks like it's more about making sure you get the down. I tried to do it kind of slow there and see if it would work. Yeah, as long as you're getting the down, well, I think you need to get as much of it as possible. That seemed to not need all the diagonals for it to work, which is nice. And on the other side, it's the same thing. Oh, wrong button. Man, I should play on P2. Can't backdash, but I can miss constantly. Oh, never mind. Talking myself up too much. Oh. Yeah. So I guess however you want to do it there. Doing things like up forward takes a lot of getting used to. So what I find is I'm using my left hand for the up and the forward. Because if I do it with my right hand, I just get a bit too jumbled because I'm so used to stick. So I'm kind of typically just allocating the attack buttons and the directional buttons to a hand, just like I would. And this has really just come with practice. So yeah, you get used to that over time. But it's once again, it's just about getting used to the up button being where it is. Let's go into side step 1. This, I struggled with a little bit at first. And I'm still having a bit of trouble. But it's kind of nice because you can just sort of roll. You can go, I use my ring finger and my thumb. And you can kind of do that with side step cancelling too. that you can use forward or back with Nina. But yeah, with into the background, I find up down. Hey, that's not side step 1. There we go. So yeah, it's still taking a bit of getting used to, but it's I'm oh god. Because I'm not doing the down back clean. Here we go. So yeah, what you're essentially doing is just ring finger then thumb, back up. And then you can do things like that. So side step 1. Oh. Same way you'd normally use it, obviously. It doesn't affect how you'd use it, it's just about getting used to those inputs. Because it feels different. Oh. A lot of this, it really just feels like, don't hurry it. If you do it quickly, you'll be stuck. But you do it slowly, and it's okay. Okay, so quickly we'll do the size of cancel. Pretty much, if there's a time when you can use your index finger and your middle finger to do something, it's going to be a lot easier than using your ring finger. Just a little bit. But if it's your thumb and this finger, I find it awkward at the moment compared to ring finger and thumb. But I mean, it's really just going to come down to familiarity, isn't it? So some people might find it different. Oh. Yeah. So at the moment, I think the biggest struggle I would have is trying to do like a side step 1 cancel into an up forward 2, because my muscle memory is going to instantly put me to down forward 2. That's just going to take practice. It's just going to get familiarity, and likewise just playing matches, I suppose, and just stepping in the direction, and when you're in a hesitating situation, trying to get used to which way you should sidestep, or trying to sidestep the way you want to. Not going, silly, I should have sidestepped left against this character in this situation. It's sometimes the case, but more about the muscle memory, just going, every time I sidestep, don't hit that button thinking it's up or down. Be familiar with that being up and that being down. Okay, I guess it's time to go on to butterflies. So, with butterflies, all the principles apply that they normally do. So you can do a quarter circle forward or down forward if you do the input right. Yeah, I'm still getting used to that, but it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter for the use of combos. But this is the quarter circle forward neutral way, and when I do it on a stick, I normally do quarter circle forward, up forward, like that. And there's no reason why you can't do this. And what you'll notice here is I'm not using my left hand to do the up forward, and when I do that, I'm stuffing it up. Essentially, I'm pressing my thumb on the up button with the same hand as I press the 1 button. And this has a bit of an advantage in my opinion. So you don't need it, because I'm technically doing the same thing as the neutral. But let's say I accidentally hold forward too long, and I get that. That's not possible if I'm pressing the forward and the up at the same time. And because I'm doing the direction and the attack with the same hand, it's much easier to time it. Like, it's pretty much guaranteed that I'm going to get an up and 1 at the same time. So I'm either going to get an up forward 1 because the beginning of the motion hasn't registered, or I'm going to get like an up 1 if it hasn't registered properly at the start as well. They're the two options I have, instead of me getting a quarter circle forward 1. Not the quarter circle forward 1's bad, but in other words, it's either a tell that at the beginning of the motion has stuffed up anyway, which wouldn't get me a quarter circle forward 1, or I'm in a situation where if I would get a quarter circle forward 1 otherwise, I'm going to get a butterfly. So that's it really. So that's what I've decided to do to just get me familiar with it. So if we do my combo, whoops. Oh yeah, this side. So same thing. The problem I'm finding when I do this though is sometimes I'm not getting the forward input like that because I'm trying to hurry it. Once again, if I'm hurrying, it's not going to work. And when I try and hurry it, I press the 1 and the up too early, and I get that because the quarter circle forward hasn't registered because there's no forward input. So you've got to make sure you get the rhythm right. And I'm sorry that the horse racing sound doesn't quite work with this. No. But yeah, find your timing, just like you do with butterflies on any stick. So, see, there we go, I hurried it, I rushed it. See, I find this a lot harder, and yeah, you can see I'm doing it. I'm doing it too early. Again. Also notice that while I'm doing the up forward, I'm using my left thumb for the up button. While I'm doing the butterfly, I do that. So I'm really still only using my right hand as timing things for this. So I use it with the, I don't even do it with that, do I? I was going to say I do it with the side step 1, but I don't. I only really do it with the butterfly. Yeah, this side, I'm still practicing. I told you, it's still pretty new to me. What I could do to try and get used to this is I could deliberately make sure I'm doing a neutral, make sure I'm not holding the input, because that way I've completed it before I'm pressing the 1. There you go. See? I didn't talk about instant while running. So I'm still having a bit of trouble with this, and I'm finding that doing the SOCD way isn't really helping me. So if anyone's got any suggestions with that, let me know. I'm just trying to do forward, 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 which feels awkward compared to stick, but it's doable. Yeah, it feels very awkward to me. Very awkward. Typically when I do it on stick, I do it as a forward, forward, neutral forward. I like the explanation of the forward, forward is like a stance. So you're going to a stance and then doing forward 1+2. And that's still applicable here, but it's still hard. Yeah, and I don't find any benefit with the SOCD for doing that, the SOCD cleaning at least. Yeah, it just feels weird to me. You can do it, it's just, I don't really see a benefit there. There could be some, just like with doing those moves pretty much instantly with it. I don't know. So, I thought we'd look at crouch dash. So if I do it quickly, we don't get the thing to register, so it's about doing it, once again, with that rhythm. And if you hurry it, it's not going to work. However, the trick that I've seen people do is they use their right finger on the forward button here. And suddenly you look like you're a robot. But if you do that, it's kind of hard to get a EWGF out of it. Looks cool, and I'm sure it has its uses, but I'd sooner get used to doing that one. God, I can't even do it anyway. So it's kind of easier to time it compared to a stick, I suppose. I say as I'm doing it much worse. But you're just doing forward, down, down, forward. So as soon as you're hitting those two buttons at once, you press 2. Yeah, so I think that's better opposed to that, which just feels like a scramble, and I think the practical sense of the Hell Sweep becomes kind of lost. At least I can't use it effectively yet. I'm sure there are many people that do, not me. Okay, but things like OTGF become a lot easier. And I find, once again, allocating my left hand to the directions of my right hand to the attack is easier, but you could... Yeah, I find that awkward. But if I do it like that, easier, much easier. Yeah. So look at that. Can't electric, can OTGF. Oops, we want to switch positions. I definitely find it more awkward on this side, and that's where you could swap these fingers, and that could be as my ring finger gets a bit stronger with these motions, I might get better at it, but I don't really use measurements. It's been a week, so I acknowledge I'm going to be pretty bad at this. See, it feels weird to me that I'm an absolute beginner at this. There we go. That was me trying to do a back forward. That's something else I should point out. So if you do a back forward and you don't get that neutral in between, you won't get the right move. You'll just get a forward 2. So you got to make sure there's a neutral. Hey, look, I'm good now. OTGF though, same thing. I mean, almost the same thing. I wonder if I use these fingers as well. Yeah. Yeah. And that's the bit I stuff up because I do it too quickly. Key message here: don't rush. Okay. I don't think there's anything else we need to go. We've looked at all the Nina things I can think of. I'm sure there are more, but they're the key ones that come to mind for me. And then we've looked at some mission stuff. So that's my introduction to Hitbox, which is really an introduction to me, so I'm still learning. I'm sure that you guys have lots of tips and tricks that you could suggest, so please comment below what you think I could do to make this an easier process for me. Should I be doing push-ups with this finger to get it stronger? Oh, that's tricky. Weighted training. Have another ring on there, I don't know. Alright, anyway. Thanks guys. This is a fun journey. I'm looking forward to it. See ya.